Welcome everyone. We're here on the set today with Darin Keene, Clements and Keene Insurance. And there has been a lot of talk lately about insurance again, health insurance and what's going to become of it. So we wanted to invite you in today to share some knowledge with all of our viewers and let everybody understand a little bit, because when you start getting bits and pieces of news from all over, from different sources, both conservative and liberal, before you know it, you're just enamored with so much that you don't understand. You get scared, and a lot of people are worried about what's going to happen with their insurance right now and what's going to happen in the future. So thank you for coming in today. It's good to see you as always.
Sure, good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's start out with some basics now. Let's take people back, because some people still don't have insurance but need it. Now, it's not always wise, or probably never wise, to go without insurance, because if something catastrophic happens, you're stuck with a bill, and a large bill.
That's right. That's right. It's very important. And I know when you and I were young, we didn't mind taking some chances. But the older we get, it's more likely we're going to need some health insurance. And so, you know, I can appreciate the young daredevils who may decide to go uninsured. But for those who need insurance, and like I say, everybody needs it, because that catastrophic event is not predictable.
Right.
So we're here to help you with that. And regardless of your situation, you know, whether you are single, you may even be unemployed, you know, whether you have a job that doesn't offer health insurance, or whether you're just coming off your parents' plan. A lot of people don't know this, but children can stay on their parents' plan until they're 26, regardless of the fact if they're married, have a job. It doesn't matter if you're in college. The only requirement is to be 25 years old or under.
Okay.
But when you get 26, you have to have it. So whatever your situation is, we're here to help, and we do it on an individual basis, because your situation is going to be different than mine. Your child's situation will be different than my child's. So that's what we're here to do on a local level.
Yeah, and it's good to have someone again to explain this to us. But let's start out very basic, ladies and gentlemen. And most everyone would understand what a premium is. A premium is a payment for the insurance, but how does it change for different scenarios?
Good question. Yes, the premium is what you pay for the insurance. So whenever you're shopping at a retail store, you pay a price for the product you buy. The premium is the price you pay for your health insurance. Now, your portion of the premium can be adjusted through the marketplace. And we, you know, Ron, I was thinking back, you and I have been doing this since 2006. Health insurance has been in the news since 2006, so here we are over 10 years.
Yes, sir.
So that being said, a lot has changed in the last 10 years. So walking into my office and writing me a check and paying your premium is a lot different than it used to be. You may qualify for a tax credit, and that is based on your income and how you file your taxes. If you file single or if you file with dependents, it's also affected by the number of people on your tax return. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the premium can be different for each individual. Person that walks in my office at 9 o'clock, his premium, he might be the same age as the next person, his premium could be different than the person that comes in at 10 o'clock.
So how does premium and deductible, how does that play into your premium, and then you have a deductible, right?
Yes, sir. Good question. Normally, the premium, you're going to pay a higher premium for a lower deductible. So the deductible is the portion of the claim that you pay before the insurance begins to pay their part. And so I always like to say, take myself for example, you know, I had hip replacement 2 years ago. The hospital bill alone was $78,000.
Sure.
All right, so my deductible, if it's $3,000, I pay the first $3,000. All right, now if I would have paid more premium each month, I could have had a $500 deductible. So I would have only paid $500 before I got help from the insurance company.
So you would help evaluate not only what costs have been in the past to help them decide what type of deductible is best for them, but possibly what you see coming. If you're a 50, 60-year-old person, you say, you know, I've been putting off issues with A, B, and C, and I need to go to the doctor. I need to get the health insurance. It's time in my life to do this. Then they would probably, or more than likely, consider a higher.
Yeah, well, they'd choose a lower deductible.
Lower deductible.
Yeah, that's correct. But for the 30-year-old male who may be the daredevil, and he just wants that catastrophic coverage,
Right.
I think, you know, this year I believe there's a $6,800 deductible available. You know, so he would be on the hook for the $6,800 before the insurance company pays, but his premium will be less.
And it's that safety net is what we're talking about here. You have to have that safety net, because if you go in and you get the bill from the hospital for an ACL test, and nobody expects it.
That's correct.
You see the fellow who just, I just jumped up.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Right.
And he's laid up for a long period of time,
Right.
nursing that injury, and he has that hospital bill that's due $70, $80, $100,000. How do you pay it? Well, you pay it over time.
Yeah,
what you
that's
do.
correct.
Yeah,
That
and
is
even
correct.
though they may work with you,
Yeah.
you still owe a heck of a lot
Still owe
of money.
it. It's still your responsibility.
So you need that safety net is what we're here to say. And we want to educate a little bit more. We want to talk about co-pays.
That's a very
Okay.
good question.
How does that work?
Some plans that we sell, most plans that we sell, most plans that the customers ask for, offers a feature called a copay. So that's what you pay when you go to the doctor's office or the specialist office or even the pharmacy. So when you go to those places, instead of having to satisfy that $3,000 deductible, you can go to the doctor and just pay a $30 copay. And that will cover that visit, and most of the time it will cover the normal things that he would do under like a lab work, his visit, his time in the room, his consultation. There are some copays that do not cover the lab work, and those plans don't cost as much. So
Okay.
a specialist copay might be a little bit more. And then when you go to the pharmacy, and you and I both know prescription drugs can be very expensive. So it's better to have a $30 copay for a name brand drug than to pay the $150 without that copay. And $150 for a prescription is very normal nowadays.
Yes. But if you have the insurance, if you go to Clements and King, work out what plan is best, what deductible, what premium is best for you that fits your scenario, then you have that opportunity to have less costs. Is the reason that you would go for it. Now, what about if you go to a doctor, you don't have insurance, they may charge you one price. Are prices preset if you're on the exchange? If you purchase the insurance, prices for
Yes.
doctor's visits are less?
Good question. They are the providers, the doctor, hospital, clinic, they are contracted with the product that we sell. And so, for example, if you have a Blue Cross Blue Shield product that you got through, with our help through the marketplace, the doctor amount that he can charge or the hospital can charge is set, because they have made an agreement with Blue Cross that if we do this procedure, this is all we can charge. So you do get help by being contracted with Blue Cross. You own that contract, and they have to honor that. So if we didn't have health insurance, the price would be more.
So there's another advantage to go to Clements and King, speak with them. Now, if you go to the doctor and there are bills and you don't understand some part of it, or you don't understand something, what do, Darin? They come to you, don't they?
Exactly. That's, I guess, the difference between us and then just buying a contract, just buying a piece of paper that you tote in your wallet that's got your name and number on it.
Yeah.
All right. We have a great relationship with the wonderful doctors, hospitals, and clinics here in Dublin, Lawrence County. And a lot of them do business with us, but their staff is very familiar with our staff. So if you have a situation and you may need help processing a claim, or you're just not sure about a charge on there, we'll call for you. You don't have to call 1-800 Blue Cross. You don't have to call the clinic. If you'll call us, we'll do our very best to research it and get you an explanation, and we'll help you any way we can. And for the person who's very busy, they don't really have time. I mean, they could do it. You know, it's not that they're not smart enough to do it.
Well,
it's a
but
time
it
and
takes
convenience.
it takes so much, and then you learn something new, and you say, "Oh, well, I didn't know that," and then you have to go back again when you already have that experience.
That's
you
right.
already know A, B, and C to ask. Whereas if I call and I'm learning it as I go, sure, I could figure it out. I mean,
Right.
I could
That's
figure that out, but I figure out A, and then I come back and I say, "Oh no." I got to call back again, and then I work on B, and then I go back, and then I have to, oh no, I didn't know this, and then I have to go back and get C.
Right.
Whereas if we call on you, Clements and Keene, you're able to know all the factors involved and
Right.
help the client. Now let's move forward, because there are individual plans, and then there's small business and larger group plans.
Very, very good question. Most of the debate that you see in Washington today is about what we call the individual market. And so I want to maybe make a distinction between individual and group.
Good.
We call individual market are people who do not have access to insurance through their job. So it could be the self-employed person who owns his own business. It could be a contractor who he's the only employee. I mean, he does work for different people. So it's anybody who doesn't work for, say, the state of Georgia or Coca-Cola or you know, any organization. That's called the individual market. And you can come in our office and purchase a plan during open enrollment, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. It begins November 1st and goes through December 15th. So you can come in and purchase a plan with no health questions asked. All right, that's your individual market. Now, the group market, which we sell many group products, and we can do a group plan as low as 2 people up to 1,000 people. So for the small group, if you do have a tax ID number and you say, well, I'm just not big enough to have a group. I mean, it's just me and my wife and one more person. You know, that's all we, right now that's what I got.
Yes.
Just because I'm blessed with my partner, Marcus Clements, who helps us out. But that scenario is very common in Dublin and Lawrence County. You know, a 3-person group.
Sure it is.
I couldn't tell you how many 3-person groups we have. That will probably be a better answer than the individual market for 2018. So if you have a tax ID number and you have a small group of employees, give us a call. We need to talk to you, and I think we can help you with that. But I do want to make the distinction between the individual and the group market, because the rules and the regulations are very different, and we work very hard with our certifications and knowledge to know the difference, so we can service the group market as well as we do the individual market.
All right, and so we're looking at that small group now, the 2 or 3 people, the man and his wife, 1 employee, maybe, you know, 4 or 5, something like that.
Right.
And they're considering, they looked at it in the past year and they said, oh, no, it's just not for me. Is it different now?
It is very different now. One reason is that the individual market, the prices have gone up. I mean, there's no question. The group market has remained stable. It really has. We've seen price increases, but nothing like what we have in that individual market. Another thing, the insurance carriers have gotten a little more liberal about writing people. There used to be a participation limit.
Okay.
And so you had to write about half of your employees. You know, so if you had 7 employees, we had to write 4 of them. All right. So this is very important. There is a certain period of time this fall that we can write a group plan with no participation requirements. So I'm glad you said, have things changed? Yeah, things have changed.
So about what is that window so people
Okay.
can consider it?
It's going to be November the 5th through December 15th.
So you got about
Short.
a real
Short,
short period of time.
but it works.
Yeah. The 5th through the 15th.
That's correct.
Okay, so November 5th
December
through December 15th. And you'll need to take advantage of that. So again, talk to your spouse, talk to your employees possibly. Call Clements and Keene. And you're not obligated to anything. You call and you get the information you need. You set an appointment, you come in, or they come out to you.
Exactly.
If that works best. And then you discuss the plan. You tell them what information you need and where you need to be.
Right.
And then Clements and Keene will give you the most professional advice available. And then they'll be there to help you through the process.
Right.
They'll be there to help you when you need information, when you're trying to work through. Because healthcare is something all of us need. Sooner or later, we're going to need it. And again, we bring up that safety net that you need, that because something is going to happen. You say, my goodness, you know, a buddy of yours, you know,
Yeah.
doing a little
Yes.
weekend project,
Yes.
falls off a ladder.
It
We
happens.
hear it all the time.
It does.
You hear it all the time. And where would you be if you don't have insurance? You're going to owe that hospital, that doctor bill. If they send you to a specialist, if it turns into more and more and more, and it takes just about a minute to run up a
It does.
$100,000 bill at a hospital.
Yes, very, very easy.
Yeah. So you want to make the wise choice for yourself, you know, and so get in touch with Clements and Keene. 272-8019 is the phone number. You can call them at any time. Their friendly staff would be glad to help you. Now let's talk about the windows of opportunity. If I want to get insurance as an individual,
Yes.
what do I do?
Okay. The open enrollment for the individual market is shorter than it has been since 2014. It will be November 1st through December 15th. So let's don't procrastinate like I do. I put stuff off. We need to think about it as I need to do something in November.
Yeah.
That's just the goal that we need to have. So past December 15th, and I know in the past that you and I have talked about that, and then the government will come in, all right, we're going to extend it. They're not going to extend it this year. I can just tell you, there'll be no extensions on open enrollment this year. So it's going to be November 1st through December 15th. And we are ready. Our staff is ready to go. You know, we've got all our certifications done. There's a lot of training that Marcus and I do year round. You can't just open up shop and hang a sign up there and start selling insurance. Of course, we're properly licensed with the state of Georgia to do business with any product with health insurance. But there's also certifications that the federal government requires that you have to do every year. And then every carrier you represent has their own training that you have to complete every year.
Okay.
So a lot of hours goes into training and preparation, and we work with our staff. And let me talk about our staff.
Okay, good.
So we have Carla Poole, who is our office manager. You're not going to find anybody nicer than Carla.
Yeah.
And very helpful.
Yes, she is.
You know, you call down there and she'll do everything she can to get you an answer. Of course, my wife Marla and Marcus and myself, we work very hard all year round. And you know, nobody wants to walk in an office and it feel cold, or you pick up that phone and call and you're another number. You're not going to get that with us. If you do, let me know. But I don't think you'll. I don't think it's not going to happen.
No.
Because we're just as concerned about it as you are. So two things on that. Number one, we don't charge anything for our service. So you were talking about if we come to your office and talk to you, or if you come to our office, whatever we talk about, we don't charge you a fee. There are agents who have a consulting license, and I've had people come in my office and say, hey, I got to pay this premium, and then they wanted to charge me $250 just to sign up, you know, as a processing fee. And if they have their license, that is legal. An agent can do that if they have a consultant's license. But that's just more money on top of a lot of money we're already having to pay. We don't do that, you know, and we've been blessed that we don't have to do that. And there's even some things we do we don't get paid on, and I'm fine with that because we want to give back to the community. The second point I want to make is I'm in there with you. You know, I don't have access to health insurance through a large corporation or a group. I'm the self-employed individual, and I'm paying those high premiums just like everybody else. So I guarantee you, if there's an option out there, I've researched it because I'm under the same rules that you are. I know what you're going through, and so when it's at a personal level, you know, we're going to take the time to make sure that we do it on a personal level for you and for our clients.
You need to take advantage and make the call today. You can go ahead and call now.
Absolutely, we are making appointments.
272-8019 is the number to call. Go ahead and get that appointment. Get ahead of the game. Don't wait and say, I wish I had, and then something happened and you'll pay the cost. So just want to bring you this information today. Glad to have you with us, Darin. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for
Thank
what
you,
you all
Ron.
do
Yeah.
for the community
Thank
at
you.
large, really. If you want to deal with a professional insurance agency, deal with Clements and Keene. They give back to our community. They've been a part for many, many years, a very successful business. And you want the help of someone who's already successful, believe me. You don't want to go online. You want to deal with someone in person, and that's Clements and Keene. So thanks for joining us today.